So Laura got me some mittens the other day, and they're really nice, and they're like really like fleecy inside, so they're so frickin' warm. Almost to a fault, to be honest with you, because they're a bit, I can imagine they get a bit sweaty if you do get a bit hot. But they got me thinking, when I inevitably become rich, famous and successful, and Hollywood obviously wants to make a film about me, you know how people like Sherlock have distinctive parts of their like character? You can't create a Sherlock remake or film or whatever kind without having the hat, the pipe, and probably the coat. They're like the three items of clothing that define, you're like, oh yeah, I'm looking at a Sherlock character, right? And my equivalent of that is obviously the shoes. Obviously, because that's it. And it's got to be this coat, and then it's scarf or mittens, in whichever order. I don't know which. In some order, scarf and mittens. It's such a defining part of me. I don't wear gloves, but I wear mittens. And I wear them all the time because I get really dry hands in the cold weather. So I put them on to keep my hands nice and moisturised. Yeah, I'd probably say it's shoes, coat, mittens, scarf, something like that. I remember, I'm really proud of this. I was the first guy to wear a scarf in my school. I made that trend happen, everyone. Just saying. Everyone thought I looked like a dick as well. Everyone laughed at me like because I was wearing a scarf. And now look at them, all wearing scarves to this day. Mittens haven't caught on yet, but they're more subtle. That's more like an Easter egg, you know? For the super fans with a keen attention to detail. Today's episode of Let's See How Far It Is We Can Go in 14 minutes and 30 seconds before having to turn around and go back to work. We are on the cycle path. The cycle path feels a lot shorter when you're on a longboard. I'm suddenly less confident of how far down this thing I can get, but we'll see. Actually getting to write some solid code today. Did a new controller onto the API gateway, wrote the first unit test for the API gateway, so that's now been introduced. Currently working on something, and I'm starting to like thread it through the system. And I started to thread it through and I'm like, whoa, there seems to be an existing thread. And started pulling on that thread and I was like, oh no. So I'm having fun. Not bad, it's just we scoped up a load of work assuming none of this existed, and turns out half of it did. But it's just being triggered from somewhere really weird, if it's triggered at all. So, having fun. I feel like I've settled now. Normally, even the person I am, I struggle, because I'm actually really introverted, I'm really like quiet and reserved. I now feel like I can just talk to everyone and just be me, normally. It's one of them things where like once I've spoken with you once or twice, we're like mates and that's it, I'm out my box. I'm either out or I'm in. If I've never spoken to you before, or I can avoid speaking to you, chances are I'm not going to come out of my own box, you know? Today I was feeling like I've been like bantering with people and like teammates and whatnot, so yeah, I feel like I've settled, and especially now I'm writing my own stuff again and just figure out I can walk for 4 more minutes, so it's going well, I think. Got some meetings this afternoon, so this is about as far out as I can get. There's also a path down there which is actually along the river, but I need shoes that I don't mind getting muddy to do that, or it to be less muddy. I find it interesting that I artificially extend my commute by 15 minutes to do this walk to the park and ride. I could park, and I do if it's raining, park way closer. Speaking of which, this is definitely dry enough for a skateboard, Jamie. So next time, check the weather forecast in the afternoon as well as in the morning, because this morning it was really wet, so I didn't. And I'm not used to it drying so quickly, but obviously the temperature is it's like 10 plus degrees now. I was saying, yeah, so I artificially add 15 minutes to walking, and I like it because I get the chance to think and like clear your head. I often find if you leave work, get in a car and start driving, like the traffic annoys you more. But if I'm artificially adding 15 minutes, it's just a drive, you know, it's just relaxing. And I guess likewise on the way in, if I feel like I'm late, I could just park closer. I can reduce that 15 minutes by parking anywhere along this road. But anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, but what it does mean is I spend at least an hour a day walking. And a question for you. I have a fast walk. I have a really like brisk walk For anyone else, like Dad or Laura, if I was to walk my normal walking pace, they have to run to keep up with me. Like legitimately like jog alongside me. It's pretty funny. And I have to train myself to walk slower around them because otherwise they get really annoyed. So the question is, I'm getting loads of like fitness points basically from Google Fit. My move minutes are about like 70 minutes a day. And I get like a shitload of heart points because it thinks I'm walking quickly. Does it count if I always walk quickly as a fast walk, and therefore do my extra heart points count? You know? But for anyone else, this is like a run, so therefore it gets them more points. But for me, this is just a normal walking pace. So should I lose points for that? Should I not get as many points? I need some kind of proper heart tracker thing, I think. Cobwebs. Yeah, these mittens are really hot. They're so fleecy. My fingers are in here, man. They're so warm. I said this, next week I'm going to lose my lunchtime walks in favour of naps. So maybe I should keep this rule. Got a YouTube recommendation for you again, guys. This guy here, he makes Formula 1 videos, but my God is he like enthusiastic about it. I'll go to bed. He's like, there's something about watching people who are like really passionate about what it is they do. I could watch anyone do anything if they're like really fucking passionate about it. And this guy like knows Formula 1 like the back of his hand, and he's like doing all, like playing Formula 1 career mode and doing, he's got everything on hard, and he's like tweaking car setups and everything. It's incredible. It's really cool. The other day, as a joke, I got the speaker, the Wi-Fi speaker upstairs, playing ocean sounds, and now Laura likes that. I'm pretty late this morning, and I don't really know why. Sometimes you just run a bit later, like 10 minutes later than usual. I don't understand what it is that I do. I must phase out or something during the morning. So I parked closer, missed out my walk in, missed out my walk out. And I had a pretty catastrophic issue where I technically just nuked one of the databases, two databases in two separate environments, and then one of the databases twice. So I was fixing that over lunch, so I didn't go for my walk. Also, pissing down, that also stopped me going out. I'm feeling a bit cooped up, to say the least. The main issue being that I didn't go for my walk in the afternoon. I may have to go for another walk. I need to figure out why Spotify thinks it's reasonable to open up at startup when it explicitly told it not to. Otherwise, yeah, I had gotten a fight with Entity Framework, which was fun, but fixed that problem. And yesterday I went through a load of the feedback that I got from my website the first time round, and like kind of divided it out into what I need to approach and when. And where, more importantly. So I've decided what it is that, oh, I've opened the wrong app. I feel like, so one of the things that I've had feedback on is I need to display pricing, at least to some extent, because companies don't want to, like the first thing they're looking for is whether or not they're priced out. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you price low either, to make them feel like they aren't priced out. You got to price. I've had feedback that when they're looking for a price, they're looking to A, see that you're legit, and B, go, oh yeah, you're not ludicrous. I need to put on a few more pieces of information. So I've got that all separated out, and that's what I'm going to be doing now. But this is the boring stuff where it's like trying to just flesh out content on a page effectively. Really annoying at the moment because Laura's been getting back at like 5:45 and 6 in that like window. So I'm used to kind of coming home and just kind of like just chill for a little bit. I get back at 5ish usually, put everything away and just like right, settle, bang. She'll get home, have dinner. But then like the longer it takes her to leave work, the later she gets back, obviously. But then the longer I wait for that, like I just need to stop and do stuff and not be like, oh yeah, but she's going to leave in a minute. Then she doesn't leave for half an hour and then she gets stuck in traffic. And the problem is that I'm waiting for her. And then the longer I wait for her, the more you may as well wait, you know? And I'm just annoyed at myself for not doing anything for the last hour, which I've had an easily, like, including a 20-minute break to watch that Formula 1 YouTuber I mentioned yesterday. Including that, I could have still had an hour. I didn't. I'm going to do some more moaning. I had an annoying day today. I'll tell you, I wiped the database. It's had a frustrating day, so I've been in a moany mood. But these shoes, my famous Converse, famous. They stopped making them. Nike bought Converse and made these, which are the Chuck Taylor 2s, and they have this lining in, this like inner sole, and they're so comfortable. They're so much more comfortable than any other type of Converse. It's unreal. They don't sell them anymore. Don't know why. Apparently they look too different to the old ones. They're fucking identical to me, but you know. Also, more annoyingly, they don't sell a pair of Converse that don't have a really dark grey, or like a greeny grey. So they don't do this shade grey anymore, like a lightish grey. This is actually quite a dark grey for the shoes that I've had before. I've just been scouring their website, and I was forced to custom build basically these. Again, the only real difference is the aglets are different colours. Sorry, the eyelets, aglets, are different colours. That's basically the difference. And I'm on there and I'm like, customise, go to the customise screen. White for that one. And then dolphin grey, which is a lighter grey than this grey, I think. Well, it's definitely lighter than this. It's either this or lighter. It's not as, definitely nowhere near as dark as the ones that they sell normally. And then white for everything else. And even though I'm customising them, it's going to take me 4 to 5 weeks to order them, I still had to buy 2 pairs. So I couldn't customise it and just go on the left one like this and the right one like that, which is even more annoying because you can have this side a different colour to this side and a different colour to that. So why can't I have this a different colour to this? Laura was hoping I would age and therefore grow out of odd shoes. Not happening yet. It's been a very unproductive day today, though. It's got to be said. So, what else? And I'm also looking for, trying to track down some kind of bang. Wrote today off, ladies and gentlemen, so that I could play some Spyro. Laura went to bed early, and I was like, I'm going to play a game. So I played some Spyro. I put some cream on my nose and I just went like that and I thought it was blood. But it's not, it's just fucking cream. God damn it. I need to make sure I've got time tomorrow to walk. At lunchtime, in the morning, doesn't matter. Hey Google, what's the weather in Bath tomorrow? Oh, it's going to rain all day. That's that shot. Also, fucking lagged it down today as well. It probably bounced. When you can hear it indoors, I'm quite a long way indoors because it's quite a big building. And I'm quite a long way away from some windows. And I'm like, what is that noise? And it's a new day, ladies and gentlemen. It was raining a lot today, and therefore I didn't need to turn off Bluetooth. No walkie poos today, not for me. But otherwise, not too bad a day, ladies and gentlemen. Also, lashing it down at lunch as well. Laura got caught out in it. Lol, she got a bit wet, and she's coming home now, and she's going to get wet in that as well. So that's going to be funny. A somewhat interesting day today, trying to figure out how we deploy the database fight that I got into yesterday. But otherwise, I've been looking into serverless stuff. I've done serverless before, but with Azure, but this is serverless with Google. And it's the Google... Everything Google does, they just put the word cloud in front of stuff. I think they just call it Google Cloud Functions. Having said that, Azure, just put Azure in front of everything, don't they? So it's called Azure Functions there, and then AWS calls it Lambda, I believe. But anyway, I was playing around with that today. It's a bit of a faff to set up compared to Azure, I'll be honest. But yeah, otherwise we'll get there. Meanwhile, I am adding more stuff to my website. More, yeah, always more, you know. Figured out a nice, pretty way of doing like sub-pages on a page, which is nice, and I just need to fill it with content. Content's always the slow bit. It just feels like you're not making any progress. We watched the Friar Festival documentary on Netflix, which was fucking fascinating. That was really good, I enjoyed that. It's one of the most horrendous streams recently. Also, this morning, I feel really off balance. I feel like I'm putting too much weight on my left foot and that I keep nearly like toppling over. Now I've done as well, I've got dressed before having a shave. Can you do it? One of Laura's work friends came round with a little babby, and I held the little babby. The little babby was not little, it was heavy, and it hurt my wrist, but I held it and it didn't cry. And it started to cry, and I coaxed it back. I freaking love babies. Come back from a meal with Beth and Ben, and went for some drinks and whatnot in town. Got absolutely freaking drenched on the way in. It was literally just like walked out, I was like, what coat shall I wear? I might wear my waterproof coat because I think it might rain later. Open the door, it's torrential. Like, no rain later, worry about rain now. But yeah, got into town, had some drinks, went for an Indian, which was lovely. And then we've literally just got back and getting ready for bed and whatnot. What's going on today? Yeah, Laura's friend came around and I've been fleshing out my pricing page on my website. Figuring out pricing, which is fun. I'm just trying to figure out the correct way of laying out all the information you need. I'm not going to put all the information on there, but I'm just trying to give like all of the key bits, you know. Was something I was trying to keep off the site so that I could then effectively negotiate, like tailor them more to whoever it was that I was offering the service to. I.e., if a big company came to me, they would need a lot more work, charge them more than a small company. And then you don't price out the small company for the sake of the big company, etc. But since decided that that's not the best shout, you need to have some kind of pricing. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, not even lunchtime yet, ladies and gentlemen. We've got dinner in the slow cooker, cooking away. Breakfast, obviously. And we're ready to get into some grafting. I've got to go out for a walk, I think, at some point. I've got delivery coming, but I don't know when. For my new keyboard. Otherwise it's time to get some work done. I think I was already upstairs working. I'm trying to pretend like I'm being productive. She's being more productive than me. Ladies and gentlemen, my keyboard has arrived. If you remember back to the previous keyboard over there, which I plugged in and it broke immediately. A little bit different this time. Got my little number pad, which I'm going to be a fan of. I haven't had one of them in ages. And this is the Microsoft... what's it called? Modern keyboard, some bullshit like that. I think they rebranded it. It was Surface at one point, but just modern, and it is. Oh my gosh, it feels so goddamn good. And the best thing of it, it's a fingerprint sensor, motherfucker. Oh yeah. It's Bluetooth, but it's you can wire it as well, which is good because sometimes Bluetooth doesn't boot quick enough if you want to use it for non-Windows things like BIOS stuff. But like, I just want to show you this. Like, watch. Bang. It's so quick. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Press in. Oh, bang. Not quite that quick. I'll chuff with that. It's nice and quiet, and it feels great to type on. And that goddamn fingerprint sensor. The amount of times I come home and I try and type in my work password to unlock my home computer, no more. My laptop has Windows Hello, Face Unlock, Computer, Windows Hello, Touch ID. Beautiful. I've come to the impression that lamb isn't that good in a slow cooker. You need something like pork or chicken or beef. Then but lamb just doesn't really work. We had lamb stew and it was all right, but it wasn't like as, oh my god, this is gorgeous as the previous ones we've had. Got my first draft done today of my pricing page. I'll go over it again later. But I'm going to work on the features page. I don't know what to call that page, but it's kind of going to be like what it is, how it works kind of page, you know? We'll figure it out. And then otherwise, what did we do today? We went out for a walk to go pick up some stuff. Played some Mario, watched some TV, going to bed. Going to bed now because I'm getting up early. Wake up at 2, we're going back into the sleeping cycle. We're going to try it. We're going back in. Oh shit. I'm just seeing what's happening on Friday. That's going to complicate things, but that's life. So yeah, we're going to try and get back to the sleeping cycle. We're going to get up at 2, we're going to do 3 hours of work, go back to sleep. I think it'll work out better. Now I've got my different commute, it should work out better. In theory. I've not done it in a very long time, like several months. So we'll see how it goes. And also it's going to be the first time that I'm going to bring out that owl at work. I've got nowhere to store it either, so it's going to just kind of sit on my desk. Yo. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. Also, my keyboard is freaking great. The only annoying thing about it is the arrow keys are like full-size arrow keys, And my previous keyboard, which is kind of like, somewhat similar to, they were like squashed. So I keep like trying to press the left arrow. I'm pressing the wrong arrow basically. It's irritating, but I'll get used to it. In fact, I might not, because I'm going to take my old keyboard to work with me. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you later.